Hello, and welcome to the BP Learning Mindcast. This is episode 26. I've not been around for a while because been busy with other things. Been busy creating content, as you'll see. We've got a lot going on here, and this is my first time to attempt live streaming, so we'll see how it goes. You can let me know how you like it in the comments. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this. This is if I get this onto the actual podcast, this is actually originally live streamed on YouTube. It's probably the better place to go to get podcasts from here. So anyway, we'll just kind of see how it goes. So to begin with, I've been doing a lot of writing for Mind Matters News, and actually, let me go check this. What this looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna drag a little bit more of this screen on, and I'll be here. I'll give you my full screen. And then I will just drag myself to the top. Let's see here. Move to top. There's myself. And I'll just put me down here. All right, that should work. All right. So anyway, so one thing that I do a lot of is I write for Mind Matters News. So Mind Matters News is kind of a technology blog. It covers more than just like technology, and we're not technology cheerleaders. I mean, there's good things, and we say good things about good things, but we're here to give good commentary, good solid um, uh, intellectual commentary on what's happening in the world of technology. So it's called Mind Matters because a lot of people think that technology can actually remove the need for the mind, that we can actually like that with artificial intelligence we could create a mind. And Mind Matters, we kind of started life as a artificial intelligence blog. We've kind of expanded since then, but actually showing that we actually, you know, artificial intelligence is really interesting things, but we actually really do need minds. They do something different than artificial intelligence does. So mind matters. So we also explore, what it means to be human, what it means to have a mind, and that sort of thing. So anyway, but we've also expanded out. We do a lot of just general technology issues, general technology themes. We do some science fiction stuff. So it's kind of a general technology blog. Um, anyway, so I'm one of the writers there, and so this is my personal page of my articles. Um, I, I try to write once a week. Sometimes it's only once every other week. Um, let's see here. If you want to see the homepage, so here's the homepage. They're advertising Cosm, which has I think Peter Thiel, George Gilder are going to be there. Um, anyway, some sci-fi. They do a sci-fi Saturday. Um, anyway, there's all sorts of science, technology, um, and then but also it has a bit more philosophical bent than you oftentimes find with technology blogs. So anyway, I've been writing for that a lot lately. Some of my recent articles, I talk about what are the problems with outsourced code and how you can mitigate them. I also talk about, programmers tend to really be interested in rewriting code all the time, and this is kind of how to hold back that reflex a little bit. There's an article on Tesla AI. Tesla oftentimes makes claims that are not in line with reality, especially about artificial intelligence. And this is just an article talking about how now other people are starting to clue in that Elon Musk makes up a lot of stuff that is really unsupportable. And I wrote an article about NFTs. If you haven't heard about NFTs, they're called non-fungible tokens. It's the way people are uh, selling digital goods, and they usually use it using blockchain. And I'm reviewing an article written by someone else that talks about NFTs and specifically how blockchains are actually a problem for NFTs. They actually don't help them at all. Um, and then I have an article about the surveillance state, and I talk about anti-counterfeiting chips. These are NFC chips, not NFT. NFC, which is basically RFID chips. NFC is the new version of RFID. Basically, this is a new anti-counterfeiting technology that's pretty cool. I have an article called "Is Technology Running Backwards?" And basically, this is the recognition that some of the things that we're doing in technology these days are actually harming productivity. They're not helping it. We went to technology primarily because we thought it would help us do the things we want to do better and faster. But sometimes it's actually getting in the way and not actually helping out. So anyway, there's a bunch of articles there. I hope you check it out. Mindmatters.ai. As I said, I'm not the only author. If you want to see mine specifically, the URL is mindmatters.com, mindmatters.ai. Sorry, not .com. Mindmatters.ai/author/J Bartlett. Those are mine specifically. If you just go to mindmatters.ai and look for one of my articles, you can find the link there. So click here. I believe. Oh no, it's not linked. Never mind. You can't click on those. Let's see if my name's linked. No, there's. I must have just gotten that URL because I know how WordPress works. So anyway, but I hope you check out Mind Matters. It's a great site. It has a lot of great content on it, a lot of great authors, not just me. Mindmatters.ai. So check that out. I've been working on books. So this one is from last year, Electronics for Beginners, but it's been doing really well. It's oftentimes like between in the top 50 computer hardware books. It's actually computer hardware and DIY. It's done really well. So notice I have 88 ratings and I've got a 5-star. That's pretty good. In fact, if you look at the reviews are pretty awesome too. Let's see if I can find them down here. Yeah, so here's some reviews. It is actually more than a book for beginners. When I joined the Navy 60 years ago, I spent the first year learning electronics, so I'm not a beginner, but things have changed a bit in 60 years. I've screwed around with breadboards, but this book has a very clear section describing their function and it gives you options on how to wire them. Glad I bought the book. The text size is fairly big compared to other stuff I read and makes it a lot easier to read while waiting for a doctor's appointment. Thank you. This book is so well written. It follows a nice linear path of information from what is electricity to using field effect transistors for switching and logic applications and everything in between. Everything is concisely laid out in uncomplicated terms. I especially love that each chapter has a review and apply what you have learned. If you're trying to learn how to build circuits, this book is a must-have. I haven't been able to put it down. The one negative that people point out, and this is the reason most of the reviews that are 4-star aren't 5, is the answer key. But there actually is an answer key for the exercises, so I'll get to that. So even though these reviews say there's no answer key, they're actually incorrect. It's just hard to find, and I haven't been able to fix it on Amazon so that Amazon is showing it. So with the exception of one nitpick, I'm enjoying this review of basic electronics. It'd be even better if there were an answer key to the quizzes at the end of each chapter. A good basic review, not too technical, but enough so to keep your interest if you love the science of building and fixing basic electronic gadgets. Well written, comfort with basic math, mostly arithmetic will help. A good reference book for the Electronics Tinker's Library. You'll want to keep it around. Using this to help students prepare for electricity aspects of the Arduino certification. Good coverage of multimeter use and safety, explains circuits, drawings, and components, solving simple complex circuit solutions, great discussion and drawings of breadboards. A plus that it loops back to the Arduino. I can display this with the classroom projector with the Kindle app. Thumbs up. I haven't completed this book, but so far it's been good. I give it 4 stars because it's a little difficult to understand at times, but that might just be me. All right, fair enough. I think it's a great book with the knowledge that's packed in the pages, but the self-feedback is sorely lacking. It's got a section at the end of each chapter called Apply What You've Learned, where they ask you questions, problems. You answer them, but there is not an answer key to be able to check to see if you understood it and have it correct. So again, that's incorrect. And then, so you can see that there's just a lot of great reviews on this. So, for those who are looking for the answer key, it's on the Apress website, and Apress is the publisher. I don't know why it hasn't filtered down to Amazon yet. Let's just double check and see if it has. Nope, has not. So it's on GitHub. And so it's github.com/johnnyb/EFB solutions. So electronics for beginner solutions, EFB solutions. And it's just a PDF. And so it looks like this. And so for every question, we have the question, we have the solution, and we have the explanation of why. Okay, and so that's true for the chapters, and sometimes there's drawings. There tells you what formulas you're using, and it tells you how to work each problem. So there is in fact a solution guide. It's just and you can find it from the Apress site. For some reason, Amazon didn't link to it, but it's github.com/johnnyb/EFB solutions. So so that's electronics for beginners. I hope you check it out. Everyone who's read it seems to love it. I don't think I've gotten any real negative comments except for this one. If once you find the solution guide, then they seem to be all 5-star reviews. So anyway, I hope you check it out. So an upcoming book, this is not out yet, but I've got a new book called Learn to Program with Assembly, Foundational Learning for New Programmers. So this one should be coming out. It says November. It used to say December. I actually heard from my publisher that again it's Apress. It should be October actually. So I'm getting the final proofs on October the 9th. And so I'll try to get those back to them quickly. It should be a pretty easy process. It was already semi-typeset when I sent it to them, so it should be a pretty straightforward load, but we'll see. So learn to program with assembly. So this is an assembly language book, and this is actually basically the 64-bit follow-up to my previous book, Programming from the Ground Up. And you can see that this one is also a highly rated book. And it was actually somewhat of a classic when it was released, but it was released in 2004, so it's a bit dated. It's 32-bit, programming from the ground up is, and so there's a lot that changed in Linux. So everything in here is basically compatible with modern Linux, although there might be one or two command line switches you have to add to tell it, yes, you really do want 32-bit mode. But Linux really changed a lot for 64-bit stuff. So learn to program with assembly. I didn't copy anything from programming from the ground up, except for I think I copied the ASCII table at the back. I didn't want to retype that. But anyway, there's basically nothing that's really direct copied from there, but the ideas were inspired by the same source, kind of has the same feel to it. But I went further in Learn to Program with Assembly. So in Learn to Program with Assembly, so again, it's 64-bit. We go through all sorts of things like how to write a memory manager, and it's really like it really is it starts you from the very beginning. You could actually use it if you'd never programmed anything before. It would help if you already knew how to use the command line before you went into the book. But there is actually an appendix that gives you some basics on it. But what I went even further in Learn to Program with Assembly because I wanted to show the connection between other programming languages and assembly language, because I think some people are mystified on how certain things are implemented. So I show examples of how object-oriented programming is implemented. I showed how try-catch is implemented. I actually have there's actually I actually show how garbage collection is implemented. In fact, I talk about various forms of automated memory management. There's the basic free and malloc and free, which there's implementations of that. But there's also other sorts of, so on top of that, you can add automated memory management. And so anyway, there's I added, so there's like garbage collection, memory pools, reference counting, and so there's actually a full garbage collector in here that it's not really, I wouldn't say it's not usable. It's not production quality. You wouldn't want to actually do anything real with it, but it shows you the goal of all this is to give you an idea of what's really happening under the hood. So anyway, I hope you check it out. It should be ready in October, and I'm really excited about it. So um, if you just can't wait and want to pick up programming from the ground up, if you get it from Amazon, please get the one that's purple because that's the one that gives me a little bit of cash. This was an open source book, so anyway, the other people have printed it. I don't think they're as good because I think there were some issues with the typesetting that they didn't recognize. If you see this one is by a different press. If you look this one up and get this one, click on Other Sellers, click on this first paperback, and look for the 2004 edition. That one's mine. That'll bring you to this one. All right. So then I want to talk about what's on our website, bartlettpublishing.com or bplearning.net. Either one is fine. So first of all, my wife has put on several educational tools. So we've got Latin charts. So if you're learning Latin, these are great charts to help you. They kind of have all the endings, but they also have them colorized, so you can really see how the endings are put together in Latin. So she's got charts of everything, and it's really good. I use it in my class when I'm trying to teach Latin, and we're trying to analyze a verb and see what kind of verb it is or what is the ending. We pull out the charts and we can see, and it's very visual. Really good. The charts have really good colors on them. Then there's also Travel Through Time, and this is just a basic timeline, and it's basically kind of a blank notebook. It kind of is, but it's made so that you can put in a timeline on it. And so a lot of people who have a lot of homeschool co-ops uh, ask students to write timelines, and so this is kind of a really good timeline journal that you can yourself use. Now these guys are electronic, so you basically buy the file and then you print it out at Office Depot or something, and that also gives you a lot of flexibility on how to do it. So like if you do you want it stapled, do you want it hole punched, do you want it spiral bound? All of those you can do it at Office Depot. You can have it your own way. You just download the file, send it to Office Depot however you want it. There's also a class edition and a home edition. The class edition is if you're teaching a class, you can buy the class edition, and that gives you the legal right to make copies for your students. All right, so those are some new educational tools. We're starting to do video content, and so we've got the first series of that posted, and so we've got a set of high school chemistry video lectures, and so this is kind of a new thing that we're starting. Last year, I did a Zoom-based high school chemistry lecture series, and this is the result of that. And so it includes both the lecture and the practice. There's basically 31 videos in there. Anyway, so you can buy that. You basically subscribe to it, is what it is. It's right now it's $45 a year, and you won't find a video online course that's that price hardly anywhere. So anyway, this is synced to this is more or less synced to the speed that Classical Conversations uses, and it's tied to the Apologia Chemistry book. You don't have to use that book, and you don't have to have that same pace as Classical Conversations, but if that's who you are, that's kind of what it's tied to. Eventually, I plan on having my own chemistry curriculum. There's a lot better ways you can present curriculum than the Apologia book. Uh, Namely, the Apologia book uses way too many words, and actually, what it tries to do to make it easier is sometimes, it tries to give you lots and lots of description to make it easier, but I've found that it actually confuses students because they have trouble actually finding what the important parts are. So anyway, but the lectures really bring out the key aspects that organizes it a little bit better. Anyway, I recommend it. So I'll probably be putting out that in the newsletter. So let's see here. Is that everything? Yeah, I think that's Let's see here. Oh yeah, there were other stuff on the website I wanted to cover as well. So we've got these things. We've got the chemistry videos. Obviously, we've got my calculus book. I plan to do a video series on this sometime. I haven't had the time for it, but I really want to. So then, if you have, so going through our books for computer programming, new programmers start here. This is probably the best intro programming book. It doesn't actually start programming until the second half of the book. It really just gives you good background on, what are these computers, what do they do. In the future, pretty much all jobs are going to touch computer programmers at some point, and so this book is ideal for kind of teaching what is this thing that's computer programming. We talked about new electronics for beginners. We talked about programming from the ground up and its soon-to-be replacement. Learn to program with assembly. This one, building scalable PHP web applications using the cloud. That's a tutorial on moving to the cloud that I wrote several years ago. These are books by Jerry Bergman that we published. Apes' Ancestors goes through all the fossil record of putative ancestors of humans and shows which ones are human, which ones aren't, and how we can know. So then Poor Design. This is refuting the argument from poor design against the idea of intelligent design. Useless Organs, subtitle is The Rise and Fall of a Central Claim of Evolution. And then Fossil Forensics, separating fact from fantasy in paleontology. So anyway, those are all by Jerry Bergman. And this is an old book of mine, Microsecession, but it actually seems to be more apropos than it used to be, actually. This book, it's not about actual secession. So in case you were worried that I was somehow a secessionist, no, I am not. Microsecession is about pulling yourself out from being overly tied in to the world system. And it's just about how you can make basic steps in your own life today. You don't have to move out to the woods. You don't have to do anything like that, but just basic things you can do where you are now that help you to be less. You don't have to touch the crazy as much, and it helps you to. One of the reasons why people get really stressed out about politics is because politics influences so much of our lives. And this is how to make politics not influence your life as much, and therefore you can be at more peace with it, even when it doesn't go your way. So that's what we're selling today on the website. Anyway, this podcast is not entirely about. In fact, it's mostly not about sales, but I did want to give you an idea of what we're doing, why I've been so busy that I haven't been podcasting, and where we're planning on going for the future. So in the next podcast, we'll probably get back to more of our typical stuff. Maybe I'll read from one of my recent articles on Mind Matters, something like that. But anyway, I thought I'd let you all know where I was and what I was doing, and I hope you all stick around and keep watching. Thank you all, and have a great day.